Okay, well, the bit is over anyway. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another live stream. And in answer to your question about the title of this live stream, not gonna say why. Just certain things going on in the world, and I figured I'd just throw that in there. And besides, that's actually my favorite song in South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut is the La Resistance song. I love that song. It encodes the heart of battle, which is great. So yeah, welcome to this live stream. Hi, Carter Jones. Hi, Ned Seacap. I can't pronounce that well. Hi, Alejandro. Great to see you guys here. So yeah, this is just a weekly live stream. We're gonna give you guys a bit of an update of what's been happening on the channel, as well as answer a few of your questions. So tonight, nice big thing of Orange Crush, because unfortunately, my corner store does not have any Coca-Cola, so I'm drinking the orange shit today. I'm drinking the blood of Chester Cheeto, essentially. Although it doesn't taste like cheese, unfortunately. There's a very cheesy bit of dialogue. But regardless, live stream tonight. Glad to have you all here. So, what's been happening this week? Well, what happened last week? Friday, I put out my audio commentary for my King Kong video games episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And then Saturday and Sunday, I was away over the weekend at a con. Two cons, actually. I was at DTAC, which is the December Toronto Holiday Con in Toronto. And then the following day, I went to a toy nostalgia show. I bought a few things. Might have bought something Kong 76 related, but I might get to that to a later video down the road. As well as some like Jurassic Park gators and so on. So yeah, the two cons were great. I got to hang out with a lot of friends. Met up with Josh and the crew. I actually got to rekindle a few friendships I thought I would never really have again, which was great. So yeah, just overall, great time at the con. And overall, the holiday spirit was there, and I gave a bunch of presents to people, which was great. If you guys have not seen my social media feed, I was cosplaying Santelf, which is essentially Gandalf with the Santa hat. I don't get why people think it's so special. That's all it is, because Gandalf is essentially the Middle-earth equivalent of Santa Claus. So yeah, that happened. Monday, we had a new King Kong behind the scenes episode. There was another one coming this Monday, so look forward to that. I'm going to try to put them on every Monday if I can, aside from January, because Bradley's got a few videos coming out in January, and there'll be an announcement on that down the line. But aside from that, things have been pretty quiet. Just prepping, myself for finishing. We're almost done. We are almost done the two mid-season finales with the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom review and the BigJackFilms King Kong review of a rip on my own film. So those are coming soon. I'm scheduling to have the Fallen Kingdom out next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, and then the BigJackFilms King Kong review the following Friday. I just have to do some last-minute shooting and stuff, and I wanted to wait till it snowed out, because it's, like, snowing as hell up here. So that's what's been happening. Aside from that, I'm going to try at some point to get my audio commentary done on my Kong remake, because I know you guys are looking forward to that. I was going to try to get it out this Friday, but I don't know if that's happening now, depending on what I'm doing. I might actually do it later tonight or something, or even Thursday. I'll do it tomorrow, and then, like, just slap it in and put it on tomorrow, essentially. So, yeah, that's what's been happening. And, yeah, things are going pretty well. Things are going well. The holidays are soon upon us. And, you know what? I might do a Christmas-related live stream at some point. I know I won't get to a holiday special, but I will do a Christmas video at some point just to get you guys occupied. And while we're at it, I will just quickly send this link over to some buddies who might be interested in joining us for this live stream. So just bear with me for a sec, guys. But yeah, I hope you guys have been having a great week. Hope you guys are getting excited. Holy crap, JonTron is doing his live stream right now. How appropriate. That's hysterical, actually, that there's two separate live streams happening at the same time. That's funny. But yeah, so Christmas is slowly upon. What are you guys asking for Christmas this year? I'll leave that in the comment sections. Let me just go share this sucker around. Give it to people who might be interested in watching all my charades here live. So yeah, that's happening. Let me also send it over to. Let me get the link to this. Just remember how to. Okay, copy link, and I shall send it over to a few buddies, so in case they want to join us for the live stream. Funny enough, I use Discord, so I do send some of this stuff to Discord as well. Let me go. Oh, jeez. Okay, we do not want to go there. Boom. And that should be it. Okay. So yeah, we're probably gonna have a few people on board for this live stream in case they want to come join us. But yeah, so we're finally gonna be answering questions. So first of all, I actually want to start by asking you guys a question. What are you guys after this Christmas? I know for me, Christmas, when I was a kid, I used to like get a bunch of toys and stuff. That was me. But nowadays, I'm trying to think about more or less what I want and more or less what I need for my channel in terms of equipment or props or whatever. That's normally me. So this year I'm asking for just business cards, essentially, business cards to hand out to people, and as well as just more equipment for my content. Actually, if you can look here, I don't know if you can see it, but I just did a brand new setup with my camera where, you know, I've got the camera connected, but I also got the mic and a brand new light set up, so lighting's going to look a lot better in a lot more future videos. So that's what I'm asking for. So let's see here. What do we got? PS4, okay. You know what, Carter? I was gonna say hold off till the PS5 because they just announced that recently. Is what I would suggest. Let's see here. Whoa, an Atari 2600. Actually, Brian, I have one of those. It's okay. If you want to get just the plug and play ones, like the classic ones, that's fine. But the old school Atari one, I have an old school Atari 2600, and they actually are pretty interesting. I had the E.T. Atari game, which is signed by James Rolfe, and it's an okay game. I wouldn't say it's the worst, in my opinion. Hey, GTs Reborn, glad to have you on here. Hey, Thomas, how are you? Okay, yeah, Thomas, you want the Lego Darth Vader castle. Yeah, that's interesting, because if you guys have not seen Rogue One, Darth Vader has a castle on Mustafar, which is pretty badass, but at the same time, it's like, I guess if anything, like, you could modify. I know Thomas wants to turn into a modified version of like Mordor or something. In terms of like, you know what it is, guys? I would ask for Legos this year, but unfortunately, it's just like Lego's way too overpriced, and it's also just too none of the themes I like are around right now. Like castles and pirates are really all I give a shit about, as you can see behind me. But everything else is kind of meh. I'm not big into Legos right now. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, okay. So let's see. A sketchbook and a camera and a megaphone. Yeah, Devon, that's actually a good idea. Get a camera. My advice, if I have one on me, I would suggest for like cost measures, get yourself one of these. These are what I usually use for my vlogs or when I'm on the go filming stuff. This is a Sony Handycam. It is a used one from a pawn shop, which is your best bet to save money. But these are the best because they're HD, 1080p. They take SD cards. They're great cameras, and they actually come out pretty good quality. Yeah, you would get one with a better mic attachment and everything, but if you want to start off making videos and get the instant footage, that's your best bet, is what I would suggest. Okay, so now that we've gotten most of our Christmas, what people want for Christmas this year, let's ask a couple questions. Hi, Kaiju Network. Glad to see you here. Glad to be here. So, the first question on everybody's minds is if I'm going to be doing a reaction to the trailer for Godzilla King of Monsters, the second trailer. The answer is no, because I've already reacted to it on my own. I just kind of caught it. I literally woke up and got messages saying it was out, and I watched it in bed on my phone, and I was like, so in answer to your question of what I think, looks good. Looks good. That's all I can really say. I don't think this trailer was as good as the last one, but I did like this trailer. And guys, you know what? People are wondering, what team are you on? What team are you on? You know what, honestly, can I be honest and say I'm going to be on Team Mothra for this one, because Mothra just looks so good. And she just looks adorable. So for me, I'm on Team Mothra on the way. So fuck Godzilla. I hate to say it. Fuck Godzilla. Fuck Rodan. Fucking Ghidorah. I'm on Team Mothra. Like the one that basically gives peace and everything. And then when Godzilla vs. Kong come out, again, I'm going to be on Team Kong for that. Like, fuck, I should just get a t-shirt that says hashtag Keep Team Kong. It'd be like the fucking moms on Twilight. Like, Team Edward, Team Jacob, woohoo. But that would probably be me. So there's that. Okay, Carter has a question. Are you going to do King Kung Fu? Okay, so this is something that's been kind of maybe something I've thought about doing. For those who don't know, King Kung Fu was a movie that was mostly now infamous because of James Rolfe's review of it. And all it is basically a guy in a gorilla suit doing Kung Fu. That's it. It's not a giant gorilla. There's no Kong references. It's just the title to fool people. Maybe I could, but it doesn't seem like something that would be up my alley in terms of Kong reviews, but possibly. the rules, I do have a certain set of rules for Kong reviews. If it doesn't involve a giant gorilla, I won't do it. If it's just a standard gorilla, I won't do it. There are a few movies I could make the exception on, like The Monster and the Girl and that one with Bela Lugosi, because those were kind of like the sort of first steps to Kong. But in terms of Kong movies themselves, if it's just like, for example, like Congo, I don't think I'd do that as a King Kong review as I would more a BigJackFilms review. Because there's no giant gorilla, it's just guys in grilled ape suits. It's the same thing with like Gorillas in the Mist and stuff. Like, yeah, sure, there's ape suits, but they're not giant apes, so it's kind of off the table for me. I really only review King Kong related stuff if it's a giant gorilla that exceeds the height. The highest amount of height would be about maybe 15, 16 feet tall. Is the highest I'll go if it's a giant gorilla. Although, to be fair, I thought about reviewing the Asylum Bigfoot movie because in some countries it's called King Kong 3, and I'm like, oh, that would make a good little, like, kind of, what do you call it, clickbait video, I think. That'd be fucking hilarious. Let's see here. Kaiju Network. I'm making a 2020 presidential election t-shirts with Godzilla Kong. I was going to say the real election. Yeah, I will buy those if you make those, KPF. I will buy one of those, and I will wear those in videos. I think that'd be fucking hilarious. Okay, Jared Osborne has an interesting question. What was the inspiration behind the music score of my Kong film? For those who don't know, if you've seen the original version that was on the old YouTube channel, the main template of music we used was James Newton Howard's score to Waterworld. The reason I chose that was because when I was watching the slideshows and all the stuff on the 1996 Kong, which I still want to see, they used the soundtracks to Waterworld as a template. And for me, the soundtrack to Waterworld actually did fit well with the kind of tone of our Kong movie. So when we were doing the score, my idea was to do basically something out of Waterworld, because that's probably, if I had to pick, Waterworld is hands down my favorite score of all time. It's just a magnificent, adventurous, classic Hollywood soundtrack composed by the great James Newton Howard. Some of his, and he's great at doing really good scores. Like, I mean, he did Congo 5, he did Waterworld. He's also known for Disney's Dinosaur. He's known for the 2004 Peter Pan. He's a great composer, so I really love everything he puts out. So for me, that was the inspiration for doing the score for my remake, essentially. Okay, let's see here. GTA is Reborn is asking, what movie are you most looking forward to that's coming out this month? Really, honestly, there's not many movies this month that have my appealed interest. Like, Aquaman looks meh. I'm trying to think what else. Like, Once Upon a Deadpool's just, meh. Really, the only one I do want to kind of see is The Immortal Instruments, which is the new Peter Jackson produced film, and I love everything that man puts out. So, like, I'll probably go see that. Because that alone actually looks pretty damn solid. So that'll probably be my holiday movie. If not, maybe Into the Spider-Verse. I do want to maybe do an opening night on that, is because, like, I've heard it's got really good reviews. And Bumblebee. Okay, so GT, I did see your early review of Bumblebee. If you guys want to see his review, I'll put a link after this live stream to our website where it's being hosted. But then I'm starting to see a couple people actually saying it's not good. So you had me with positivity, but then some other critics were just like, it's about the same, if not less, than the Bayformers movie. It's just been, from what I hear, the reviews are very conflicting because they're happy Bay's gone, but at the same time they want him back, which it's like, you can't make up your mind with this shit with a fucking Transformers movie. So for me, the Bumblebee movie, I'll have to see when all the reviews gather together. I'm not going to count on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just going to count on a few other reviewers like Jeremy Johns or probably Chris Stuckman, and just see what they think. And then I'll decide if I want to go see it or not. But it looks good. I do want to maybe see Bumblebee because I've skipped out on the last two Transformers movies. Okay. Let's see here. Thomas has a question. Ever heard of this 1973 movie called Banana Monster? It's another gorilla movie. No, is it a giant gorilla? Because if it is, I'll take a look at it. I may check it out and see what the hell it's all about. Let's see here. Jared Osborne asks, what do you think of a Kingdom Hearts anime TV series? Kingdom Hearts I've kind of gotten into. I never really played the games in their entirety, but I do enjoy the storyline and the idea of the multiverse Disney, kind of Disneyverse as I call it, mixed with the Final Fantasy stuff. I think it's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if it would probably be better as a series, but you know what? Here's what I think Disney should do. They're doing all these live action remakes, but why? Why are they doing them? Is it the cash grab? Is it nostalgia reasons? Well, what if it's something where it's like, it's been a plan the whole time to do a live action cinematic universe of all these Disney films, because the big Avengers-esque movie with these live action Disney films would be a Kingdom Hearts movie. That would actually make sense, and that would be a big twist for the company, and I think a lot of people would be on board with it. Be like, so that's why they're making all these live-action remakes of classic Disney films, because it's a cinematic universe. Like, that would be interesting. It's like, they never announce it being a cinematic universe, but then when they say we're doing Kingdom Hearts, it means that they've all been in continuity this whole time. That would actually make sense, in my opinion. Is that they just basically did a live-action Disney cinematic universe and then topped it off with a Kingdom Hearts movie. That would be me. That's what I would do, essentially. And in answer to your question, Kitty Plays, am I hyped for the live-action Lion King movie? Yeah, I'm actually kind of intrigued to see what they do, because the effects actually look pretty solid. This is Weta we're talking about, so you know they're pro to basically anything. So for me, I'm excited for the live-action Lion King. I can't wait to see what they do with that. And I'm looking forward to that in 2019. It's another movie coming out I want to see. Let's see here. Jack, do you think that Godzilla King of the Monsters is going to get a game for PC or mobile like 2014? I have no idea. I haven't played the Godzilla 2014 game. I would like to see them make a new game and not that piece of shit on the PS4, but I would like them to see a proper game. Hell, do a remaster of like Save the Earth or Godzilla Unleashed. Do a remaster and put it all on all the consoles. That'd be great. Like, you know, they should just do a definitive Godzilla tournament fighter that includes every single kaiju in the Toho universe. And just basically do it like Smash Brothers, but like with Godzilla, but like have it where it's like all the monsters, every single goddamn monster Toho has put out, put them all into one game. Because I think, like, for me, like, for example, the pinnacle of tournament fighters in my eyes was probably Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 on the PS2. Now, I played the original Budokai game and I loved it. It was a fantastic game. But Budokai 2 upped the stakes, and it just had every fucking character from Dragon Ball all in this one game. And it's like, you don't get that with games anymore. You don't get like 100 characters to play in one tournament fighter. So something like Godzilla, I would love to see like a kaiju fighting game with like all the monsters. The same thing with Star Wars. Like, here's what I really want EA to make. A Star Wars tournament fighter, but with every Jedi and every Sith. And you can just do any combination you want of a fighting game. Think about how much money that would make. That would be actually, I think, more profitable than the new Battlefront. I think they should just do a Star Wars tournament fighter with the Jedi and Sith and just call it Star Wars Jedi versus Sith, and that would make a fuckload of money for game developers if we could get something like that. And hell, give it to the people who are doing Mortal Kombat, or give it to Capcom. Give it to Capcom when they're doing Street Fighter. They'd be great at it. So for me, that's what I would do with certain video games, especially a Godzilla game. I want a tournament fighter that has like all the monsters and not just like 5 or 10 of them or whatever you do now, because of the hardware is from my perspective. Let's see here. Holy crap, we are getting a lot of people on this live stream. I just want to try to answer as many questions as I can. GT has a question. Who is your favorite human character in any of the Kong movies? For me, it's got to be Charles Grodin as Fred Wilson. It's really hard to choose. If I had to just rank like each character, like each generic character from each film, the best filmmaker, like the Carl Denham character, is Robert Armstrong in the original. The best Beauty Who Tamed the Beast would be Jessica Lange from the 1976 remake. The best Jack Driscoll is probably Jeff Bridges from '76. It's really between those guys in terms of my favorite characters in the entirety of the King Kong lore. I like Charles Grodin as a very funny cartoony villain. I mean, I love even in Great Muppet Caper, Kermit's like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, because I'm the villain. Of course I'm going to do this. It's great. So that would be probably my personal favorite characters in the Kong lore, essentially. Inuyasha Dinosaur 101 asks, what are your thoughts on the remake of Dumbo? Okay, so here's the thing with the Dumbo movie. For those who don't know, Dumbo's one of my favorite Disney films. Loved it as a child. It's a real dear part of my heart. And you know what? I mean, it's going to be generic. It's going to be a very generic remake. But you want to know why Disney hired Tim Burton to make a live-action Dumbo movie? Just guess. I'll give you a few minutes to guess. It's not because of the story. It's not because of the design. It's not because Danny DeVito is the ringmaster, and not because Michael Keaton is in it. It's not a Batman Returns reunion. It's because they hired him for the goddamn pink elephant scene. That is the only reason they hired Tim Burton. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole movie was not directed by him. It was directed by somebody else, and they only hired him for the pink elephant scene. Because the pink elephant scene, as we all know, is super fucked up. Now imagine that kind of fucked-uppery, as I would put it, with the vision of Tim Burton. The guy who brought us Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas, and just has these really fucked up visuals. This is going to be the pink elephant scene not on alcohol. This is going to be the pink elephant scene on acid. I'm actually kind of excited to see that. I would want to just see that whole sequence in 3D and I'll be satisfied. If they don't include that, then what's the point of hiring Tim? I really know the point. You have to put that in there. That is a staple of Dumbo. Please do a creative acid-inducing pink elephant. You can put stop motion in it. You can do like this and that and make it all goofy and crazy. It'd be amazing. That's why they hired him, I think. The rest of the movie they couldn't give a fuck about. I mean, granted, I am kind of like a little upset that I guess Timothy Mouse is just a mouse. He's not doing much because Timothy Mouse was one of like the essential characters. He's like Jiminy Cricket, but a mouse. One thing I actually wouldn't mind them tackling in this is the prospect of elephant abuse or animal abuse in the circuses. Because, okay, so I'm going to get into a little story. When I was a wee boy, I actually did go see the circus. I went to the Ringling Brothers Circus. Saw them twice, actually. One was when they were in my old town, Wisconsin. They had a parade and everything. And the other time was when I was a wee kid and I got to ride an elephant. And believe me, guys, riding elephants, I'm not kidding. I actually got to ride an elephant. Don't look down because you will feel like you are going to fall in a moment's notice. Now, granted, at the time, I didn't know about the whole kind of controversy of how they treated elephants. Now that I do, I want to go back in time and tell myself not to pay a goddamn thing to these people. And not only that, probably kick the ringmaster in the balls. So, for me, like, I'm a big animal activist. I love animals. I'm an animal hugger. I love that shit. I hate how wildlife is just used for that crap. But at the same time, like, in film, like, as long as you obviously make it CG and make it fake, it's okay to, like, discuss those issues and have those events happen. So for me, it's like, with Dumbo, I really want to see if they're going to tackle that, the whole elephant abuse thing, and maybe at the end of it, the elephant, like, a little changing ending is that the elephants actually are let go. And if you guys want to know something interesting, I did see a movie called Water for Elephants, and it's a movie with Robert Pattinson. Now, granted, I find Robert Pattinson to be a terrible actor, but at the same time, like, this is one of the only good movies he's in, but it's a good film, and I've always had a love for nature and animals and elephants and stuff. Like, if I could, I probably would go to an elephant sanctuary and just hang out with them for a whole bunch of times. So for me, this Dumbo movie has to have two things, or three things. It has to have the magic of the original. That's a given. The second thing it needs to have is maybe a discussion about animal abuse in circuses. Third reason, Tim Burton's got to do that goddamn pink elephant scene. Because, again, that's the only reason they hired him. So in answer to your question, I'm optimistic about Dumbo, but at the same time, I'm like, let's see what happens. Essentially, it's how I always put it. It's the same thing with Lion King. Like, I mean, I am looking forward to Lion King. I think that looks like a way better movie. But to quote Simba in Lion King 2, I say, for now, I reserve judgment. We'll see who you really are. That's me with basically all these live-action remakes coming out next year. We'll see what happens. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see a little more. And that's just me. So, moving on to other questions. What were your thoughts on the Allosaurus Fallen Kingdom with its design, and what was your thoughts on the Dino Rivals line in the Mattel toys? My thoughts on some of the dinosaur designs for both the toys and the new movie Fallen Kingdom, I will declarely talk about in my review. So look forward to that coming soon. Let's see. What about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Okay. I actually kind of liked it when it came out. I mean, I saw it as a double feature with Corpse Bride on Halloween, so that was 2 Tim Burton movies on Halloween. It was pretty solid at the drive-in. But for me, I felt Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was really kind of lacking the magic that the original Willy Wonka had with Gene Wilder. And Johnny Depp being Michael Jackson that whole time. It's like, I love my chocolate. No, don't steal my chocolate. That's ignorant. That's ignorant. He's being Michael Jackson. The only good thing about that movie is Christopher Lee. Because he's great. Everything he touches, he's great. So that's really my only opinion on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Other than that, it has not aged well at all. Really at all. The only thing I really like about it was probably the first trailer with that catchy song, Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka. That's it. The rest of the movie kind of sucks, except for Christopher Lee. Okay. Oh, Movie Critic has a question. Do you watch Super Sentai? You know what? I mean, I was a Power Rangers fan first, Sentai second. I did get around at one point to watching Kyuru Sentai Zyuranger, which is the Sentai that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is based on. And I loved it. I actually thought Kyuru Sentai Zyuranger was an amazing series on its own. It doesn't have to require Power Rangers to be comparable. It's its own series on its own. It's fantastic. I think it's a great film. I actually was introduced to it through a friend at a couple of the cons. He recommended I watch it, and I love it. It's a great show. It's a lot more mature than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So if you guys want to watch a really good, almost more mature version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, go watch Kyuru Sentai Zyuranger. It's a fantastic series. Let's see what else we have here. Do you think Kong, King of Atlantis is a miss? Okay, so I only watched a little bit of the animated series and the 2 movies, and I thought the Kong King of Atlantis movie was garbage. There is a little part of me, who wants to actually review those 2 movies on their own as part of the Kong reviews, because I only really talked about Kong the animated series. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to watch them again, but for me, like, just animated Kong movies just suck. They're just awful. Like, they're not Asylum bad, but they're still pretty bad. I don't know if I would probably ever get a chance to. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jack, have you ever heard of War of the Monsters video game? Okay, yeah, okay, this is interesting. War of the Monsters. So, when I did my Kong video games episode, at the time I just wanted to cover the Kong games and any kind of giant gorilla games that I knew about. But funny enough, when we were at Anime North, me and Bradley were looking in the gaming stuff, and we found a copy of War of the Monsters, and it was on the PS2. Now, I don't have a PS2 console at the moment, but there's a part of me maybe wants to play that game and see what it's all about. I don't know if it was ever released on Xbox or GameCube, but if it was, let me know, and maybe I'll go pick it up. But for me, yeah, it looks okay. It looks interesting, nonetheless. Maybe that would be a review sometime. International Dinosaur 101 asks, what are your thoughts on the Papo dinosaur figures? Those are great figures. I don't have any on me at the moment, but there's part of me who wants to kind of get them and see and just have them on display, because they're great renditions of the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. They're fucking fantastic. Although some of them are super expensive and super rare, so that would be me. Oh shit! JT's Reborn asks, are you gonna watch tonight's South Park season finale? I didn't plan to. I mean, I watched the first episode of this season, and then I just kind of fell out. That's me with most shows that come on television. I'll probably just wait till DVD and watch it as a whole. But for me, the South Park show I heard has been killing it. Now, JT, have they said this is the last season? Because they're kind of making it look like this is going to be it. I have no idea. But if it is, then I might go and watch the whole season as a whole and just see how it all wraps up. Because what would the world be like without South Park? It would be kind of a depressing place, honestly. Like, that's the one. This is not the last season? Okay, good. I was so afraid it was going to be the last season. But, like, think about that, guys. What would the world be like without South Park? Really about that. Like, it'd be more of a depressing place, honestly, if South Park wasn't there to just tell us how life works, in my opinion. Actually, I have a book called South Park's Guide to Life, and it's just a bunch of quotes from the show. And it actually is a good guide to life, in my opinion. Oh, it's fucking great. Such a great book, in my opinion. Yeah, I read books. You guys should too. You can't just look up everything on the internet. Okay, what other questions do we have here? If I were to do an animated comic film, how would I do it? I just do it as a straight up adaptation of the story, but in anime form. Would really all I would do. That's really about it. That's all you're gonna get from me. Let's see. Inuyasha Dinosaur 101 asks, what do you hope me to tackle in adapting the novel Jurassic Park film since my cousin was... Just do whatever you think is a good story. It's not really about visuals or effects or action sequences. It's more about telling a good story. That's what I've learned from being a filmmaker, is that you gotta tell a story that you think is worth telling. It's not really about the effects. It's not about, like, the action scenes or whatever. Those are great, but you want to tell a good story. But if you're going for an action-based thing, you might as well add some stuff just to make it fun and dandy. Oh, my glasses are super dirty. But that's what I would do, is just basically tell a good story first and then think about cool shit after. That's your main focus, essentially. All right, Devon, thanks for coming in. Glad you're able to enjoy this live stream. Take care, man. Let's see. Shane asks, what do you make of your own? Okay, would you make your own Jurassic World live ride, and what would you do with it? Okay, for those who don't know, Jurassic Park the ride closed at Universal Studios Hollywood last September, I think, or October, I can't remember. But they're currently going to be rebranding it as Jurassic World the ride. And so far, from what I'm seeing, it's pretty much what I would want. There's going to be animatronics. There's going to be maybe a few screens from what I heard, but it's just mostly going to be animatronics, and the finale is going to have the T-Rex and Indominus Rex fight. That's all I need. That's really all I need. And granted, this is the kind of concept I wanted for a Kong ride. Is basically kind of like the scene in the movie where they're on the raft, going across the swamp, and then the brontosaurus attacks that. Like, do that, but make it through, like, the river of Skull Island, and just have, like, all these different dinosaurs attack and have Kong and all that stuff. Like, do the same Skull Island adventure, but with Kong, and you're on a raft. I think that alone would be a good ride. But in terms of Jurassic World, the ride, or Jurassic Park, I really wouldn't really update much. I would just kind of, if anything, do a combination of all the rides in one, is what I would do. Like, all the different rides at separate parks, and just make it all one thing. And maybe add, like, a Triceratops animatronic. That I wouldn't have mind seeing in a Jurassic Park ride, because we never really get that in any of the attractions, minus the Triceratops encounter at Islands of Adventure, but that's long gone. It's just what I would do. Greetings, humans. It is Brock. Hello, Brock. Good to see you. Yeah, South Park is way more funnier than Family Guy. Although, to be fair, Family Guy has actually been pulling off some really good jokes. Like, whenever I catch up on Family Guy, I'll mostly watch the reactions from Blasphemous HD, because he's actually super funny, and he actually makes me laugh along with the jokes. One joke that's actually pretty recent is where, like, this guy's, like, reading, and, like, it's a montage where he's gonna solve the case, and he's running down the stairs, and then he gets shot in the head and falls down the stairs. It's like, oh, right, I forgot this is a 70s movie, and then, like, the credits roll, it's like something out of, like, Scarface. Joke like that was pretty recent, and it surprisingly works. So for me, it's like, Family Guy's funny in some places, but most of the time I am more of South Park right now. South Park has still remained for 20 years consistently funny, and mostly because they're able to catch up on current events, is what I find. Did you see the Detective Pikachu trailer? Yeah, it looks good. It looks like a proper anime adaptation with a proper budget. Most anime adaptations have a really shitty low budget, and the studios don't care. So for me, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Detective Pikachu. Although I'm not really a Pokemon fan at all. I do want to see it because it does look pretty interesting. Okay, this is interesting. I'll bring this up as kind of a question. JT asks, favorite South Park episode? Mine is Broadway Throwdown. I have a few episodes that I really like. My personal favorite episode is the Return of the Fellowship of the Ring to the Two Towers. That's the episode where the boys are all playing Lord of the Rings and they accidentally have a tape of, I think, like the Fellowship of the Ring, but it turns out to be a porno instead, which is fucking hilarious. And Butters watches that and then he becomes like the Gollum character, but instead of a ring, he's addicted to porn. It's fucking hilarious. But really, it kind of introduced me to kind of the idea of LARPing or live action role playing. So I always love episodes like Trey Parker and Matt Stone pointed this out in the commentary where they said they just love episodes where the boys are just being boys and they're just having fun and playing and shit. So that's me. I always like the episodes when they're doing role plays or something. So when they're ninjas in Good Times with Weapons, or when they're playing Lord of the Rings in Return of the Fellowship of the Ring, or even the Black Friday trilogy, because I love that three-parter. I consider certain three-parters full episode. The reason I like that one is because at the time that came out, Game of Thrones had just wrapped up its third season. I love Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is a fantastic show. So for me, like, it was right after the third season. The Red Wedding just happened. We were all devastated. We were so pissed off. Then comes South Park to come in and say, you know, the show might be taking our ratings right now, but give credit, guys. You got to know, like, Game of Thrones is not flawless. And the reason they bring this up is because they start to point out the cliches of the show. They started to find a formula with Game of Thrones. Because for most people, Game of Thrones is completely unpredictable, which is still true. Like, it is still an unpredictable show. But at the same time, you do start to see a formula with the series. You see a betrayal of some kind. A main character gets killed off. You have a scene where two people are walking and talking through a garden, planning betrayals. And South Park nailed that perfectly. And it actually got to the point where we're like, oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. The show is not flawless. Like, it has a formula. And I think for the writers, they realized, fuck, we gotta change our formula then. So that's what I love, is when one show rips on another show for having a formula, and then the studio that makes that show has to be like, we got to change everything because they're starting to catch on. So I always love that. So I love the Black Friday trilogy. I love the Imagination Land episode. Imagination Land is a great creative episode. I love the whole multiverse of characters everywhere. It's a great three-part episode. And what I really love, especially part 3, because part 3, let me put like part 3 of Imagination Land is what the ending to Ready Player One should have been. So basically, they should have just copied Imagination Land. But I love that episode. Other episodes, Scott Tournament Must Die. I love the 200th episode, two-parter, although I wish they didn't censor the shit out of it. I really want an uncensored version of the 200th episode. I think if there's any that were consistently funny. Love Cartoon Wars. Cartoon Wars is a great episode. And also Osama bin Laden has farty pants. That's a hysterical episode that still holds up for me. I think that's a fantastic episode. So those are really kind of my favorite South Park episodes as a whole. Hey Mason, good to see you. Glad to see you on the live stream. Glad to see all of you. Let's see. Ooh, Jared has a question. Who would you cast as the Phantom of the Opera in a remake? Okay, first, I wouldn't do the musical. I would do a straight-up adaptation of the original 1925 film. Or I can't remember what year that came out, the original Phantom of the Opera. But you'd have to cast a really method actor to play sort of like this confused and sad misfit. It's very much like Danny DeVito in Batman Returns. If I had to choose somebody to play the Phantom, I know it's a bit of typecasting, but I would probably choose either Benicio del Toro or Andy Serkis. And the reason Andy Serkis is because the whole Gollum split personality thing actually, I think, would work with the Phantom of the Opera. I think he would be fantastic at that. And just Andy Serkis you really think about it, Andy Serkis is this generation's Man of 1,000 Faces. He is this generation's Lon Chaney. He can play anybody, but instead of makeup, it's motion capture. It's CGI. So he could play the Phantom of the Opera. Hell, he could play Quasimodo. He'd be great at that. But Yeah, I'd probably see him as the Phantom of the Opera, if anything. Like, he would be the Lon Chaney of this generation. So for me, I would cast him, if anything. Although I wouldn't do CG on the Phantom, I probably would do it as makeup. So I think that would be a lot easier than doing CG, because then you would end up with something like Snoke. So, which is good CG, but it's like, no, I'll be good with makeup. Let's see. If you're a dinosaur besides a T-Rex, which one would you be? A theropod? I'd probably be a raptor, because those things are clever. I probably would be a velociraptor. That would be my spirit dinosaur, essentially. Although my spirit dinosaur will always be the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Let's see here. Let's see here. Imagine if Jurassic Park stuck with original stop motion from Phil Tippett and CG. I would actually like to see that. I think that would have been really interesting if they went with stop motion, just to see kind of an alternate version, or if somebody could actually do that. Alter the film, like kind of like how everybody does these fan ads with Star Wars, but replace all the CG dinosaurs with stop motion. Like, that would be a great project. I would love to see somebody do, and that would be a great idea. Shane Backburn asks, what is your favorite Lost Godzilla film? And what is your favorite Lost King Kong 1996? Okay, so I'll answer this in terms of Godzilla. My favorite Lost Godzilla project that I wish they got made would have been probably King Kong versus Godzilla back in the Heisei era, because I know they apparently had planned it, and RKO and the people who own the rights said no because of the clusterfuck they were in. And then they were going to try to do Godzilla versus Mecha Kong, and then that didn't happen. And I think it eventually did lead to Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. So at the same time, I thank them for not doing it, because if we didn't get King Kong versus Godzilla back in the 90s, we wouldn't have gotten Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in 1991. That's just kind of the way I see it. So yeah, that would just be essentially what I would do. Is just, I would probably want to see that happen, but we are getting that in 2020, so hindsight could be a great thing in my eyes. Let's see. What were your thoughts on the Pachyrhinosaurus being took out of Fallen Kingdom and been replaced by a Sinoceratops? Okay, quick heads up on my Fallen Kingdom review. I do bring up the Pachyrhinosaurus, and I had no idea that happened in Inuyasha Dinosaur. So if you see that in my review that I bring up, it's the Pachyrhinosaurus, I apologize, but I didn't know that. That's really interesting how they took that out. Didn't expect that. That's interesting. And that's another thing. Wasn't like the Styracosaurus in it at one point, but then they just decided not to put him in? I can't remember. Let me know. Carter Jones asks, what do you think of the King Kong musical? I will find out hopefully in February, because I may or may not be making a trip to New York City for a day or two. We'll see. I may be reviewing the movie or the musical there. Let's see what happens. Would you like to see a Godzilla versus Gamera movie? Yes. I think Legendary should be the ones handling it. If Godzilla 2 and Godzilla vs. Kong does well, I think they could get the rights to do it, and that would blow people's minds if they actually did get that. And they were the ones who took the reins to doing it, because I know Daiei and Toho did try to do it after Godzilla Final Wars, but because Godzilla Final Wars flopped, Toho said no. It's essentially what I think they should do. Legendary should do that. Okay, so we're going up on 40 minutes. I think we're going to cut this live stream short, because I just want to get something out there for you guys. So we're going to answer 3 more questions, and then we're going to call it a night, because I've got shit to do. So just fire 3 more questions. I will pick from the majority, and then we will see what happens. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of dinosaurs that was apparently cut out from that. Let's see here. Okay, Liam Early asked, do you think Legendary will continue the MonsterVerse? I hope so. There's a lot of conflicting rumors that Legendary is going to stop the MonsterVerse after Godzilla vs. Kong, but then I'm hearing that they're not going to. So I think they will continue it. The way I would do it is, after Godzilla vs. Kong, you do Godzilla 3, do Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla. Hell, maybe do some spin-off movies. Do Mothra, do Rodan, do like solo movies, do Godzilla. But definitely do Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla after Godzilla vs. Kong. And then do one last Godzilla movie, and that would be Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Let's see, and then, or no, what? No. destroy all monsters. Definitely do that, but then do Godzilla vs. Destroya as the last film, and then let Toho do their thing. Like, Toho at the same time I know is doing their Godzilla universe, but I want to see these two combined. Hell, you know what'd be great? And Toho could totally take control of this. Do a Godzilla multiverse movie, like a Crisis on Infinite Earths, but with Godzilla. Basically have every single previous each Godzilla film or certain films take place in their own shared universe. So things like the original Gojira up to, so you have the original Gojira, and then you have the Showa era. Then you have original Gojira and the Heisei era. Then you have the original Gojira and the separate, different millennial films. And then you have the 2014, all that. But do like this Godzilla multiverse movie, and maybe have a scene where it's all the Godzillas that were essentially each Godzilla from each universe, and they all destroy Tokyo at once. That would be crazy. Just think about it. You have 54 Godzilla. You have 62. Well, you have 62 Godzilla. You have 84 Godzilla. You have 91 Godzilla. You have 98 Godzilla. Fuck it. Throw him in there. You have 2014 Godzilla. You have Millennial Godzilla. Each Millennial. GMK Godzilla. Shin Gojira could be in there. Just have all these different Godzillas just attack Tokyo at once. And I don't know, call it like Godzilla Doomsday or something. I don't know. Something like, or Godzilla Crisis. That would be a good film. I would love to see that. And then maybe they all each fight each other. That would be a great film, in my eyes, for any kind of Godzilla film. Just to do the ultimate film. Yeah, Mecha Godzilla versus Mecha Kong would be another great film. Just do it and just call it Robot Bar Fight. If you guys don't know that reference, look it up. Robot Bar Fight. Milo the Geek Master. Second last question. Have you read the Jurassic Park manga? I haven't. I just discovered it, and I'm looking to find a copy. Although, I have to say, I don't know if you guys know this, but there actually exists a print of Jurassic Park, but it's completely open matted. Now, if you guys don't know what open mat is, believe it or not, Jurassic Park was actually shot on full screen. It was basically this. But to make it more cinematic, they cropped out this much from the film. Now, there exists an open, and the reason they did that was to basically, one, cover any technical problems like boom mics and rain machines and everything, but also to make it more cinematic. So recently, I think Team Negative One did it. They found a 35mm print of a open mat version of Jurassic Park. I may be getting a copy, and I do want to watch it like that because I think it would be super interesting to watch it how it was originally shot. And even if you see all the different continuity problems, I don't care. It's the equivalent of watching the BBC cut version of Jaws the Revenge, which shows a lot of mechanics of the shark underneath it. So for me, I actually do want to watch that and see if that holds up. So that answers your question. I haven't read the manga, but I am planning to watch the open mat version of Jurassic Park at some point. Ellis, thank you so much. Yeah, man, I'm glad I'm be able to help out people and make their days a little funner just being a cool YouTuber. That's just kind of my job, basically. Okay, let's have one final question here. Let me just pick out here. Okay, last one from Shane Blackburn. Would you make your own King Kong roller coaster 4D ride in water park? That would actually be pretty cool to have a Skull Island based theme park. That I don't know how I would do it and how I would do each individual ride. Maybe I think if anything, I'd be okay, maybe Universal could do it. They could have a whole Skull Island section. You have the wall that can be a little live show, a little musical show with the natives. You can do that. You could have the main ride, with a water ride or something with King Kong where you explore the jungles. I don't know, have a log scene place. I think that'd be kind of fun. A little obstacle course, but it's the log scene. Yeah, something like that. Hell, if you can do the spider pit, you can make it look like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids playground at Disneyland. I can't remember which park it was. I think it was MGM that had that Honey I Shrunk the Kids park attraction. But yeah, that's essentially what I would do. I wouldn't do too much with that. I think if anything, if I did have to do a Kong ride, I would just bring back Confrontation. That was the best ride. So yeah, guys, that's it for this live stream. I'm glad you guys are able to enjoy it. I'm glad you guys were able to come in and watch it. If you guys have any more questions or anything, let us know in the comment section below. And if you want to mail us Christmas cards, gifts, letters, whatever, you can send it to our mailing address as seen in the link below. That is BigJackFilms, P.O. Box 326, Queensville, Ontario, L0G1R0. And we'd love to hear from you. We're going to plan to do more fan mail fanatics. We actually have a few letters here, and a few parcels coming in. So we're going to be doing a fan mail fanatics sometime down the road. Hopefully, I don't know if there's going to be a video coming out Friday, but you'll know. It'll be a little surprise. I have no idea. Hopefully tune in next Friday. Possibly the Fallen Kingdom review may come out next Friday, as well as the BigJackFilms King Kong review coming out at the end of the month. So that's it. Of course, if you guys want, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, and I have no way to end this. Viva la resistance.